Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I'm just thinking to myself that it is seriously time for a haircutting video, don't you think? I'm starting to be just driven crazy by this mop on my head. But we're not doing that today. Today I am going to attempt making pajama pants out of fleece using a pair of pants as a pattern. Hopefully I can show you how easy it is to make your own pattern for pajama pants. And I'm laughing because I have made my own patterns before, but not like trying to show someone how I do it. So with that said, let me tell you, this is not so much a tutorial as it is a just watch and see what I do and maybe learn something from it. I think if you know how to sew, you will easily be able to follow along. If you don't know how to sew, well, you're probably not ever going to make this anyway. So you're just watching for the heck of it. I watch a lot of videos that I like to watch just because I like to watch them. I watch tons of sewing videos that I never make the item. I just think it's fun. I don't know. Let's just get on to the sewing. Oh yeah, so I had a poll up for you guys so you could decide if you wanted zebra print or leopard print for the pajama pants. And let me show you the results right now. Boing! You can see that leopard won by a lot. We currently have 221 votes, and leopard got 70% of the votes, and zesty zebra got 29%. For some reason, YouTube polls never equal 100%. I just don't know what's going on with that. So we are going to do leopard print, and I'm just going to take you over to the sewing station and let's just get started and see what we can do. I will not be modeling these because they won't be my size. I will be putting them on eBay, I hope, if they're good enough. I could put them on my mannequin upstairs, but you have to take her torso off and all that. A lot of work. So I'm just going to be showing them to you, maybe on the table, holding them up. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Ignore me. Ignore. Ignore. Before I start, I do want to tell you that my mother is just in the next room with the door shut, but you can still hear her TV because she's 93 and she plays that TV as loud as it possibly can get. So we just have to put up with that. I just grabbed a pair of stretch pants that I haven't worn in many years. I'm sure they don't fit me, but we're going to go with them. I have watched some videos of people making pants patterns, and when it's something like lounging pants or pajamas, a lot of people make the front and the back the very same, but that doesn't fit good in the bum that way. Your butt takes up more space. If you notice, any pair of pants that you have, if you find where the crotch, has the seams that cross and hold that down, look how much longer the back is than the front. So I'm going to do it with a piece for the front and a piece for the back so that they will fit better. I'm going to start with the front. I'm going to take my two seams from the inside of the legs, and I'm going to grab that place where the stitches cross, and I'm going to just put it like this. We obviously have an elastic here that is making this retract. So if we were just to pretend that there was no elastic, this would probably be out like this. So this curve that's going this way would really be more straight if we had the actual pattern. So when I draw my pattern, I'm going to make this curve. I'll curve it down here, but then I'll just make it go straight up. I am going to actually use wax paper for my pattern. I don't care that the wax paper doesn't meet here. I'll just make a note that I want to extend this by 2 inches. And I will also be putting this on the fold of the fabric so we don't have any side seams to do. Since this is slippery, I'm just going to put a couple of pins. And I am going to take a permanent marker and I'm going to trace right along the edge of the front part of the pants, not this back part. The back part is longer, see? I'm tracing here on the shorter front part. So here's my line. But remember, I wanted to extend as though the pants have not been retracted. So I'm going to make my curve, but I'm going to make my curve like that. I'm going to make the top wider because the elastic will suck that in. Then I'm just going right down. That's it. I have a pattern. Let's cut the pattern out. And I'm going to write front. Now for the back of the pants. Put them with the back side up. And this time, again, match up your inner seams. Grab the X part of the crotch. And it's going to be a bit lumpy. But now we're going to do the same thing, but we're just going to do it on the back side. Going to draw my back, and once again I'm going to extend it. Going to draw my curve but make it more straight. Down the leg and cut. Here is our lovely leopard fleece throw that I'm going to use. This cost me $2.50 at Walmart. If you like to sew, look for fabric in non-fabric sections. Look in bedding, look in even clothing, even clearance racks. At Walmart, you can sometimes buy like big men's t-shirts for $3. There's a lot of fabric in that. Let's open this baby up, and I want the stretchy to go this way. Not this way. And somebody asked me, how do you know which is the stretchy? You stretch it. You just pull on it. You can feel that is stretchy. If you were doing it yourself, you would know that it feels stretchy. This way it might look like it's stretching, but I can tell it's not stretchy. This way is. So the length of the legs are going that way because we want the legs to stretch for our thunder thighs. I'm going to start with the front. And I want the edge of my pants to go against the fold, so we don't have to sew this seam. And I want to remember, and I need to remember to leave about 2 inches because I didn't have enough wax paper. If you had enough, something wide enough, you could always tape wax paper together if you want your pattern to be perfect. I don't. I do need to allow for seam allowances. Now, for the waist, I make waistbands probably 3 different ways. Today I'm going to go with the simple casing, because it's easy with fleece. You don't have to double fold. Nothing is going to fray. So we're going to just do the casing. Okay, I could pin a couple pins here just to keep it from shifting around. Make sure your bottom fabric is long enough too. I'm going to cut about 1.5 inches to allow for the casing. And then I'm going to allow about 1/2 inch seam allowance everywhere else. I have stumbled into my first very big goof. Very big, but we can fix it. You can still do exactly what I did, but we are going to have to cut the side seam, because when you make a pattern that goes on the fold, you need to make one side of it front and one side of it back. I'm not even going to explain to you how I was supposed to do this, but let's just say this is wrong. But we're just going to cut all the way down the side, and we're golden. Okay, so let's do this now with the back. I am sorry about that mix-up. It's been a while since I've made pants. My goodness, I hope we have enough fabric. Wouldn't that be awful if we didn't? If that happens, then I'll just have to make them smaller. Ooh, I think we're going to be okay. Ah, we're fine. I still have to allow for the 2 inches because my wax paper wasn't wide enough. But I know now that I'm just going to go ahead and cut down here. So I'm going to allow for my waistband, and then 1/2 inch all around. Since we know we have to separate these 2 pieces, I'm going to just cut all the way down. Now we are ready to start sewing. If your fabric has a right side and a wrong side, and I have people ask me, how do we know what the right side and the wrong side is? If you can't tell at all, then there is no difference. Like with this fleece, there is really no difference. It looks the same on both sides. But if you have fabric that has a print or something on one side and the other side is completely different, that's the wrong side. This is the right side. Put your right sides together. I'm leaving mine just as is. We're just going to sew down this curved edge of the pants. When you get to the curved edge, you can like kind of stretch it to make it straight, make it a little easier to sew. Since this is stretchy fabric, I'm going to go ahead and use a zigzag stitch, just to allow for extra stretching. So now we have a back piece that looks like this, put together. And now I'm going to do the very same with the front. Now we are going to put right sides together. Take your back and put it right side facing down so the right sides are touching. And we are going to go to the machine and we're going to sew down the entire leg on each side. Then we are going to sew all the way up the leg, around the crotch and down. And you just want to make sure that your two seams for the crotch are touching. One easy way is to start here at the crotch and go down one leg and then come back to the crotch and go down the other leg. Just make sure your right sides are together. I always start at the waist because then when I get to the bottom of the ankle, if the pants are not even, that's okay. That can be just trimmed off at the end. Same on the other side. I'm starting at the waist. Now for the inseam, I am indeed going to start at the crotch where the two seams are together, and I'm going to sew down one leg, then I will come back and sew down the other leg. I'm back at the crotch, going down the other leg. Now you can see we have what is starting to look like a pair of pants. So let's turn these right side out and let's talk about the waistline for a minute. What I'm going to do is create a casing. I'm going to fold down about 1.5 inches, and you can pin if you want. It does curve a little bit. I just go with it and I just adjust the fabric as I sew. You're going to just do that all the way around, but you're going to leave about a 2-inch space open on one side so that in the back, so that you can pass the elastic. So I am going to start here at the back and I'm just going to fold down about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to start just before the seam. I want to get that sewn down and with zigzag. And I just try to keep about 1.5 inches folded down. And now I'm back to the beginning and I'm going to leave about 1.5 inches, 2-inch space. Before I talk to you about the waistband and the elastic, I'm going to go ahead and just hem the bottom of these pants. They don't even need to be hemmed, but I'm just going to take just a little bit, 1/2 inch, just fold them under and zigzag around. They don't have to be double folded because they do not fray. I actually forgot to mention that before you hem the pants, be sure you lay them out and put the legs together to see if they need to be trimmed. I actually did that and I needed to trim them a little bit to make them nice and even. I forgot to do that on camera. Now it is time to determine how much elastic we need for the waistband. If you are making a pair of pants for yourself, you would just take the elastic and put it around your waist and, with just a little bit of tightness so that you know that the elastic is clinging to you a little bit, but not so tight. And you would just cut it where it's comfortable. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pants, since I've used these as the pattern, and I'm just going to see this elastic, which would be folded in half, is relaxed at 17 inches. So I'm just taking this non-roll elastic and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to have it relaxed at 17 inches. Cut a little extra to give me a chance to sew that together after. And you can see these will stretch to, well over 25 inches, which is 50 all around, and so will this. We'll use this camera because it'll be easier for you to see. Grab a big safety pin. This is not big. I don't have one right available, and I don't want to go looking for one. And I'm just going to put the end of my elastic in this. That's the wrong piece of elastic. I need this piece of elastic. Now I'm going to take the pants and I'm going to just find the space that I left open, and I'm just going to push my safety pin along. You want to make sure that it's not really the easiest way to show you here. You just kind of push the safety pin along, make sure that your elastic doesn't turn, and just do that all the way around. One good thing to do though is before you go through all that is just to put a pin through your end of the elastic, just to hold it there so you don't accidentally suck it through the fabric and then you have to pull it out and start over. And eventually you're going to make your way right back out of the same hole you started in. Without twisting the elastics, put one on top of the other, and I just go to the machine and I sew a zigzag up and down on a couple spots just to hold that together. I just go back and forth a few times. Then I move it over to the other edge and do the same. And then you just tuck your elastic all the way back in through the waistband, and we're just going to stitch that closed. One thing I like to do to keep the elastic from turning is on the back seam, I'm just going to go up and down and just to catch the elastic in there. Then you can make sure it's, kind of even all around, and do the same to the front. You could do the sides too, but front and back's enough. You guys, we have pajama pants. Look how cool those are. I think they came out so nice. I wish I had a better way to show these to you. I like them very much. I will say, they look like they came out a little bit smaller than the pants I used. That might be partly the print, and it might be that I didn't probably allow enough seam allowance, but they're pretty close. So I hope this helped you in some way, or at least I hope you had fun watching. Let me go to the other camera. I like them very much. I will have all the measurements for these on the auction. The auction won't be up until probably, I don't know, in the next few days. I don't think I'll be doing it tonight. But I hope you enjoyed watching me make these pajama pants. I totally enjoyed making them. And even with my little goof, it was an easy goof to fix. So I was glad about that. The other thing I did wrong, I didn't check in advance to make sure I'd have enough fabric with one fleece throw. And I was cutting it close, but it worked out. I know that I could make life easier for myself if I really planned in advance. It's just not the way I work. I just have to sit down and do the things. If I make mistakes, I make mistakes. It's the best way to learn, because you remember. Once you screw up something royally, you remember. But this was not screwed up royally. It came out super nice, and I hope whoever wins these gets to enjoy them. All right, thank you so much for watching. I will be back with more soon. Bye. We have to find something for the zebra.